So you're thinking about making the move from California to Vancouver, Washington. Well, if that is the case, this is the video for you. Today, we're gonna chat about absolutely everything there is for you to know before you make that move from California up to Vancouver, Clark County, Southwest Washington. So if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go. If this is your first time to my channel, let me say welcome and thank you for being here. We talk about absolutely everything that there is to talk about living, eating, breathing, sleeping in Vancouver, Clark County, Southwest Washington. So if there's something you need to know, we've got it covered. So please click the like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to ding the bell because then you can get all of the information that you need before you make your move to my area. My name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass. I am a farmer with a wee little real estate problem, and thank you for joining me. We are here today to talk about absolutely everything that you need to know before you make your move from California to Vancouver, Washington. I get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you who are looking to make the move to Vancouver, Washington, kind of the Southwest Washington area. And I absolutely love what I do. So if you're thinking about making a move in the next 9 or 90 days, please reach out to me. And I would love to tell you everything that I know and love about Southwest Washington and make the transition as smooth as possible for you. Okay guys, so let's just dive right into the meat and potatoes because I know that's absolutely what you want. So according to salary.com, Vancouver is 23.5% more affordable than LA, 17.4% more affordable than San Diego, and a staggering 68.5% more affordable than San Francisco. And I gotta tell you, Vancouver is already 17.6% above the national average. So right then and there, I mean, those are huge numbers for people that are moving from California to Vancouver, not to mention other reasons people absolutely love being here and love living in the state of Washington and being in Vancouver is there is absolutely no income tax. There is a beautiful, beautiful, amazing summers. And honestly, the housing is so much more affordable than California. Well, let's just jump right into housing because as a real estate professional, I am always concerned about housing prices. And for you moving from California to Vancouver, honestly, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air because it's very much more affordable for you to live here than it is in California. And you can get so much more house up here, but there's absolutely the complete opposite of that when you're thinking of people that are relocating here from, say, Texas or the Midwest, because they're struggling to understand and, you know, paying sometimes 3-4 times more when they move out here, where California, you probably paying quite a bit less. And when you look at things like groceries and gas and all that kind of stuff, it really does add up. So before you move from California to Vancouver, Washington, you're going to be absolutely all set when it comes to housing prices. The average home price here in the Vancouver area is somewhere between $500,000 and $700,000 for like a 4-bed, 2-bath, about 2,000 square foot home. I mean, obviously there's luxury homes you can get a lot higher. You'd be surprised at what $1 million can get you here. But we are just considerably more affordable than where you're coming from in California. But instead of just homes and buying homes, let's talk a little bit about rent. And honestly, it's not a horrible idea for you to sell your place and move from California to Vancouver and rent for a while and kind of get an idea of where you want to live, what places you want to be. I mean, I know my channel's going to have a lot of information, but sometimes you just got to feel it out for yourself. And I totally get that. And the one cool thing about living up here and renting up here is it's also more affordable. So a typical 3-bed, 2-bath house, you're gonna probably pay $2,200 to $2,400 in Vancouver, whereas if you were in, say, San Francisco, I mean, I looked this up on rent.com and almost cried. It was like $6,000 to $9,000 a month. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh, so I'm gonna drop a link down below with all the homes that are for sale in the Vancouver area, so you can kind of take a look and see where the houses are, what you get for what price in what area. And if you've got questions and you kind of have an idea of your budget, reach out to me. And up next is one of the biggest challenges everyone faces when they move here. I mean, I did, is the weather. And yeah, we get the big dark and the grays and the rain. You can see behind me, it is the afternoon. We've had some rain today, but we've also had blue skies. It's been absolutely amazing. But the thing is I'm a transplant as well. I grew up in Minnesota and I moved out here, and it's pretty much, I traded snow and rain. It's still kind of got that damp, kind of cold that just kind of eats away at your body. But honestly, it's a very temperate climate. You're looking at from like 45 to maybe 80 degrees on average, instead of like some of the things that I was experiencing where like it was 120 in the summer and then like -60. Yeah, -60. It was a real number in the winter. So it's a lot better out here when it comes to weather. And I know that you might have been spoiled in California because it's sunny and nice and beautiful, but the summers here are to absolutely die for. The weather is amazing, and the sun is out almost every day. I remember last year, once July 4th hit, I don't think we had rain until almost the end of October. I don't even think we had a cloudy day. So it was beautiful. And yes, it rains like 150 plus days a year, and the gray, sad is a real thing. There's great ways to combat it though. I have a happy light. I take a lot of supplements, B, C, and D, just to try to keep my immune system up. But the other thing that you'll notice is from about mid-November to mid-January, we kind of have this thing called the big dark, where we only have about 8 hours of sunlight, and you will get up in the morning and go to work and it'll be dark, and you will come home from work and it will still be dark. And it's really hard to get used to. Obviously, the solstice is usually around December 20th, 21st, and that's the longest day, the darkest day of the year. So we look, up to that day, and then after that, it's all the days, all they're doing is getting longer. But like I said, the summers are absolutely amazing here, and you do not want to miss out on them. Well, the next thing we're going to talk about are taxes. And I think you're going to get a really pleasant surprise when you move to Washington, because there's no income tax. I said it. Absolutely no income tax. But, obviously there are some other taxes, and they're probably a little bit lower than what you're experiencing when coming from California. I think our average sales tax in the Vancouver area is right around 8.7%. So that's for goods and services, but we do have pretty much the nation's highest gas tax. And there's also this thing called excise tax, and that is when you sell your home, there's kind of a weighted average of percentage that you pay based on how much your home is. But other than that, living in Vancouver, there is one benefit, and a lot of people will kind of quietly hint at it, but Washington doesn't have income tax, and the drive over the river to Portland is very short. So they don't have sales tax. And if you're going to make a large purchase, a lot of times people jump over the river, go make their purchase, and come home. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about today are jobs. And if you are unable to work remotely when you move from California to Vancouver, Washington, there are many, many, many great companies to work for here in the Vancouver area. Some of the top companies are Peace Health. We also have the Vancouver school system is actually very large. It's the second largest employer in Southwest Washington. And also we've got Fisher Investments. All very, very large companies, great companies to work for. But the thing is the salary here might kind of scare you a tiny bit. The average salary in the Vancouver area is just over $51,000 a year. Whereas if you're coming from, say, somewhere like San Francisco, I looked it up, it said 96,000, and I couldn't believe that. I thought it would be much, much higher than that. But it's there. It's something to be aware of, but also keep in mind, we are more affordable than California, where you're coming from. So the jobs here, they're excellent and great companies to work for, and affordability is better. All right, and one other thing that you probably have questions about is education. And in the Vancouver area, we have a plethora of schools. Like I said earlier, Vancouver School District is probably the number 2 employer size-wise when it comes to Southwest Washington. And we have some wonderful schools. According to niche.com, schools like Union High School and Mountain View High School, which are both in the Evergreen School District, are rated number 52 and 51 in the state, which is pretty good when you compare about how many high schools are actually in the state of Washington, with 2 in the same district being ranked that high. And my girlfriend actually is a teacher in the Evergreen School District, and she absolutely loves it. She says the kids are great, the school is great, and so it's nice to hear from the actual people that work, live, and breathe in these schools that they like what they do and they like the kids that they work with. All right, something that I'm sure a lot of you know about, love, and absolutely will miss about California is the diverse landscapes that it has. And it for sure is a beautiful place to visit. I've been to many places from Palm Springs to San Diego, LA, Napa Valley, San Francisco. And they're all very beautiful, they're all very different. But honestly, here in Washington, you're gonna have pretty close to the same thing. And in 60 to 90 minutes, from Vancouver area, you can get to just about anything. You can get to the coast, you can get deep into the mountains, or you can even be cruising the high desert. And there's so many opportunities to partake in outdoor activities from hiking, boating, snowshoeing, skiing, mountain biking, and much, much more. There's just never an end to what you possibly can do here. And some of the mountain things that we have going is Mount St. Helens. It is about 66 miles or about 90 minutes from the Portland area. And you can drive out there and drive up and then hike up. You have to get a pass or a permit to actually hike to the top. But there's tons of hiking and tons of camping around both sides. There's actually two different roads from two different directions to get there. And there's not really a road that goes around Mount St. Helens. So you got to pick what side you want to go hang out on. Also, Mount Adams is very popular. That's out in the gorge. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes out. You go out to White Salmon and you go north. And it's beautiful. I've done some mushroom foraging out there, some hiking and camping with some friends. It's very, very beautiful place as well. There's the Gifford Pinchard National Forest, and you can get to that relatively quickly from just about anywhere in Vancouver. There's tons of entry points, both through the gorge and also just through the east side of Vancouver. So you just find a place, find a road, and drive on out. And honestly, I cannot forget to mention, with 108 miles and 2 hours and 5 minutes, you will be able to get yourself to the longest beach. And it's aptly named Long Beach, but it's not California, it's Long Beach, Washington. Long Beach, Washington has 28 miles of continuous sandy beaches. And yes, you can absolutely drive your car out on the beach the entire length if you want. I've taken my Jeep out there and we had so much fun. We've taken the dog, you just go, you hang out, and there's tons of different access points all the way from just about anywhere on the Long Beach Peninsula. So you've got to go check that out. So if you're moving from California to Vancouver, I'm pretty sure you're going to be wondering what the culture is like. And when I first moved here, I didn't expect it to be as culturally diverse as it is, but oh my goodness, like it is amazing, amazing place. Yes, it is very small town. It is very blue collar. The people are very kind and hardworking. And the amount of festivals that I have found, there is things from celebrations from like the Chinese New Year all the way to the 4 days of Aloha. And we even have a Hispanic and Taco Festival, which is super cool. There's so much art and there's a huge foodie culture here in the Vancouver area. And I think that's kind of spilled over a little bit from Portland. So when you come here, if you're looking for a specific culture, chances are you're gonna be able to find it. All right, guys, next up is sports. Okay, so California has a plethora of amazing sports teams, like absolutely amazing sports teams, from basketball to football to baseball. But the thing is when you move up here, you might not expect to actually have as good a sports as we do. They might not all be like super high-end professional NBA, NFL teams and all that kind of thing, but they're really fun. And one of my absolute favorites is the Ridgefield Raptors and the Portland Pickles wood bat baseball teams. So much fun. They're collegiate athletes from the area and they play during the summers, and the Ridgefield Raptors are just up the street and they play the Portland Pickles. The games are so much fun. They're super family friendly and the stadiums are pretty small. And honestly, I don't think I've been to a Portland Pickles game where it hasn't been sold out. And Dylan the Pickle is amazing. Tons of opportunities for the kids to participate in things, adults to participate in things. Obviously, there's adult beverages and great food. So those are really fun. The other sports that we have in the area, there's not as much in the Vancouver area specifically, but Portland, downtown Portland from Vancouver is only 25 minutes. So you can drive down there and go to a Thorns game, which is our women's soccer team, or you can go to the Timbers game, which is the men's soccer team. They're amazing, and the amount that people love them is insane. Like, people bleed for these soccer teams, and it's so cool. Other than that, the only real like NBA, NFL team we have are the Portland Trailblazers, and unfortunately they're really bad this year, but that's okay. They've been really good before. We love Dame and we love watching them. I went to a game for my birthday the other day and it was super fun. So and the other thing that I heard recently too is that there's a rumor that the WNBA is going to be bringing a team back to Portland. They had a team here for a couple years and then they went away like in the early 2000s. So we're slowly working on it. They're also working on trying to bring Major League Baseball to Portland. So hopefully in the next few years, we can really build out that sports. But you can find tons of good fun at multiple different sporting events if you want. So like I mentioned earlier, I am also a transplant to the Vancouver, Washington area. And Washington, however much I love it, is not going to be like California, but there are plenty of opportunities for you to explore and adventure and just really find a new path in life to enjoy the outdoors, to enjoy a space. And you've got more questions about moving from California to the Vancouver area that I absolutely did not cover today. Please reach out to me in the comments, or you can send me a message. Like I said, my contact information is down in the description, and I get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you. And if you are looking to make the move in either the next 9 or 90 days, please reach out to me so that we can talk a little bit more about how you're going to make your move from California to Vancouver, Washington as smooth as possible. So again, my name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass, a farmer with a wee little real estate problem. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you found this very informational. If you need anything else, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.